What the heck happened to Brzrkr? You know, the famous or infamous Kickstarter Boom Studios ran. Supposed to come out October 2020. You remember that one? Yeah, I was sitting around thinking about it, going, wasn't that already supposed to be out? Hit the like button while the intro plays, and we'll talk about it. All right, so I was just sitting there on my couch. I was like, man, Keanu Reeves was supposed to have a comic book coming out soon. What happened to it? Of course, Boom Studios ran it through Kickstarter. They're also going to be releasing it to comic shops. But in a unheard of move, Boom Studios ran it through Kickstarter. Now, this is not a video on my opinion for that. Real quick, stick around to the end of the video so you can see how you can enter our 2,500 subscriber giveaway. We are so close, and you don't want to miss out on that chance to enter. There's hundreds of dollars worth of prizes. This is about Keanu Reeves' Brzrkr and where it's at. Because again, October 2020 is when it was originally supposed to come out. We haven't seen it. But that's not a big deal, because like many other books we've been seeing get delayed, like The Last Ronin, when it is going to come out, it is going to be impressive. I mean, the creative team on this book, outside of just Keanu Reeves, and the man behind Boom Studios, like Ross Ritchie, you know you're going to get a great story. So, what happened? Boom Studios ran it through Kickstarter. Everything went well. I mean, it funded just crazy. It's also the most pre-ordered book from Boom Studios. I read somewhere it was upwards of 30-40% increase. So you're talking over books like Something's Killing the Children, Wind, Seven Secrets. We only find them when they're dead. I mean, a lot of big titles. But Brzrkr is the most, being rumored, the most pre-ordered book for Boom Studios by 30-40%. That is insane. Now, obviously the Kickstarter program has ended. It's been funded. You can still go to the Kickstarter website, click this late backer button, and still fund it or back the project on another crowdsourcing site, I guess, as a backup. However, it will be hitting your local comic shops on February 17th. I don't know why the delay was. I didn't see anything. I'm assuming it had something to do with COVID, like most things in the world right now, so it's understandable. But February 17th is that new release date. But maybe a more important date is the FOC date. So right about January 24th, 25th, I believe, is the final order cutoff. I'll put it right here to the text, the actual official final order cutoff date. What that means is that if you have not backed the Kickstarter, you have not backed or through the additional crowdfunding source, you're gonna want to put that on your pull list for FOC. And I say that because if this is a story you even think you want, the second this thing hits shelves at local comic shops, every flipper and scalper are going to go into the comic shop, and they're likely going to pull all of them off the shelves. It's going to hit eBay that day for 3-4 times the price is what I'm guessing. You're going to say, what about the print run? It's going to be overwhelmingly high. I'm sure it is, but if you look at books like The High Republic and some of these other books from the last year, huge print runs, but if the demand matches that supply, still going to have increased prices. So go ahead, put it on your local comic shop's FOC list, or however it is they track it. Call them up and say, hey, can you put me down for one? And it'll be in your pull box that day, likely with a discounted price for your subscription box. And you won't have to worry about that. Now let's go into a little bit about Brzrkr, Keanu Reeves, Matt Kindt, and Ron Garney. Okay, obviously Keanu Reeves. We know Keanu Reeves. It's a name you can't miss. This thing is going to be impressive. But a name like Matt Kindt, a name like Ron Garney, and then we're going to talk about the letter or two. Let's talk about their backgrounds within comics and why I genuinely think this is not just Keanu Reeves doing a publicity comic book, why I think this is genuinely going to be one of the best comic book reads for 2021, 22, and 2022. All right, so Matt Kindt. Who is Matt Kindt? Well, I will tell you, Folklores this past year came out. Wonderful read. But how about this one? How about Justice League of America? He is a New York Times best-selling writer. So that tells you a little bit about the guy. Now, what about Ron Garney? Who is Ron Garney? Wolverine? Captain America? He is phenomenal. And I think if you look at what we're seeing in our previews, impressive. And then we have an Eisner and Harvey Award nominated colorist, Bill Crabtree, which BPRD, we're all familiar with that. And then, of course, the letter Clem Robbins from Hellboy. This thing is going to be phenomenal. And this isn't just something where Keanu Reeves is giving the reins over, saying, hey, do this. He's very much so involved. So let's talk a little bit about what Brzrkr is specifically, in case you missed the news or you weren't sure about this. It was a big deal when it first was announced through Kickstarter. And I think the fact that it was really put on Kickstarter might have overshadowed how big of a deal this actually is and how good of a comic I genuinely think it's going to be. So let's talk about it right here. Basically, they're describing Brzrkr as a graphic novel series about an immortal warrior seeking only one thing, the truth about his blood-soaked existence and how to end it. Immediately, I'm thinking a insane Wolverine without the claws. I mean, just done with life, ready to go. He's gonna, I think it's gonna be sick. And obviously, Keanu Reeves is gonna be, his likeness is gonna be the main character here. And everything about this book and the way they describe it is brutally violent, blood-soaked. So it is certainly gonna be a mature book for a mature audience. Now, this is a little bit more about the book. The man only known as Brzrkr is half mortal and half god, cursed and compelled to violence, even at the sacrifice of his sanity. So an insane version of Wolverine that's a demigod. No claws yet. No claws. But after wandering the world for centuries, Brzrkr may have finally found a refuge, working for the US government to fight the battles too violent and too dangerous for anyone else. In exchange, Brzrkr will be granted the one thing he desires, the truth about his endless blood-soaked existence and how to end it. And obviously that's the big catch, right? Like we know what we're gonna get, but I think that how to end his own life is definitely that catch that kind of may interest you a little bit more than just another violent story. And they go on to describe it as, if you love intense, savage characters with mysterious pasts like Wolverine, there we go, John Wick, Brzrkr is sure to be your next favorite warrior. So yeah, that makes sense, right? It's Wolverine's this immortal character. John Wick, how else would they describe this, right? It is Keanu. And they are saying this thing is a action-packed, high-octane comic book series with depictions of graphic violence, blood, and gore. So they do put that disclaimer out there. So that's basically what we're getting. We are seeing a ton, candidly, a ton of previews for this book. A lot of covers. This thing, I'm very excited about this. We have some cover art through Mark Brooks and things like that, but this thing's going to be incredible. All right, so let's talk about the timeline a little bit. It will hit stores February 17th. When I say stores, your local comic shops. And even if you do the Kickstarter and whatnot, you still won't be able to get those until after that moment. So you can go to your comic shop, get each individual issue. They are a cover price of about $4.99 as it stands now. So with your subscription box, it should be, somewhere between 15-20% less than that if your comic shop does a discount. So that issue 1, February 17th, issue 2 is slated for March 31, issue 3 is May 12th. So we are seeing a gap there in April. Now, that's just the first 3 issues. We don't have any information on issues 4 through 12, obviously. So this may decide how you want to pick it up, determining release date, whether you want to pay the $4.99 for all 12 issues or pay $50 to get the 3 basic level trade paperbacks. If I'm not mistaken, you should actually be able to still get the hardcovers, the trade paperbacks through your comic shops at some point. It just may be different covers or things like that. So this is genuinely an interesting thing they're doing. Boom has been really evolving themselves as a leader within the comic book industry. Let's be very real about that. When you think of great comic books over the last 2 years, Boom Studios is probably at the top. Let's be realistic, right? Especially this last year. I bet you if you get most people's top 5 comic books of the last year, Boom's gonna have probably 3 out of the 5. So this to me is really cool. I am excited to see Keanu Reeves really get involved with comics. If you know anything about the man, he doesn't do anything lightly. He does it very, very passionately, and I do believe he is a fan of the medium. So this to me is going to be incredible. I'm super pumped about it. But like I said, I was just sitting around thinking, what the heck happened? So I decided to do some research and let's record a video, let everybody else know, because I do not want the momentum for Brzrkr to go away. And I don't want you to miss it and end up having to pay eBay prices, guys. So put it on your pull list. Let me know what you think about Brzrkr. And at the end of the video, I'll drop some of the previews and some of the images so you can kind of check those out. Let me know what you think, because I'm super pumped. And maybe we'll do a video later on discussing the Kickstarter thing, but that's a video for another day. Guys, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. We do enjoy reading those, and I'm very curious what people's thoughts are on this book. And as always, thanks so much for being the best part of Two Brothers Comics. Collect your way.
So for the 2,500 subscriber giveaway, all you're going to have to do to enter that is comment in this video, hit the like button, and if you're not subscribed, you got to be subscribed. What can you win? This is one of the prizes here. This was brought to us by Back to Back Comics of Marietta, Georgia. If you're in the area of Marietta, Georgia, make sure you look them up and go check them out. This is an awesome stack of comic books that you can win by commenting in this video, hitting the like button, and making sure you're subscribed.